I'm literally angry.
Hey, welcome to HoopSpeak Live. I'm Beckley Mason with Zach Harper. Yes, and this is happening right now. Ethan is not with us today. He is toiling away in the Bleacher Report mines, he of having a job writing about basketball. Woe is his existence. The big story today, we're midway through the first round, 4 series down, 4 left to go. Basically, all of them are terrible, ugly series, except for Denver-LA, which is something pretty interesting, and it could get a lot more interesting tonight because Kobe Bryant might not play. He missed his shoot-around today with, and let me get this right because Zach is going to clue us in here in a second.
Thank you.
Kobe has gastroenteritis. Zach, you are our chief medical researcher. I don't know. You're the guy with the scoop. You went to med school for like 4 years and just dropped out to become a blogger. So why don't you give us the scoop on what Kobe's ailment means?
I mean, as a fake doctor, I think it's important to know that this is a stomach problem, hence the gastro. He's really just he's just pooping a lot. That's what he's doing. That's the problem.
Okay.
He's having a really hard time with his intestines right now. As far as I think he'll play. I don't think he would sit out the game. It's just, maybe they have to dump it into the post more tonight. I think that's really the answer. And not
okay, here we go. Now I want to clue everyone in here to what's about to happen. You're about to get the most mature and basketball-centric 25 seconds in the history of HoopSpeak Live. Zach,
this is really the
continue.
Dumbest thing we've ever done. It's always been a problem when he's dribbling too much, and it kind of takes away from the game. I think he'll have the intestinal fortitude to really get through this and step it up for the team. I mean, the Lakers just can't let this game squirt away at all. It's too important. They can't let it go back to a Game 7. We know there's going to be a lot of running, and it's a game of runs, really. It's going to be a game of runs with him, and we shouldn't make light of the situation. He might actually be sick. He might actually have a condition. We shouldn't just poo-poo the situation.
Okay, and scene.
Are
Very
we done
nicely
with this
done,
now?
Mr. Harper, as always. You're like crying. Are we done with this? No more.
This is what happens when Ethan doesn't show up. I just make poop jokes.
Well, okay, all poop puns. HoopSpeak Live, here it is. All poop puns aside, this is meaningful because Kobe has made up a big part of the Lakers' offense throughout this series. Some people think that the Lakers' offense, if it's not better, at least runs more smoothly when Kobe is not playing because the team knows exactly how many, Bynum and Gasol are more comfortable with where they're getting touches and they get the ball more, and it just sort of is a more obvious inside-outside game, whereas Kobe wants to occupy, the high post and really the low post, which is what, his tall teammates want to do too. So I guess what I'm asking is, if Kobe is out, are the Nuggets in trouble, or are they pretty much where they were before this news came out?
I don't want to pretend that that the Lakers don't need Kobe, because they do, but I think it would obviously change the game plan to the fact that I don't think you would see LA run at all. I think they would slow everything down. I mean, they would absolutely have to slow everything down, grind it out, and just have it be a post play almost every time. Maybe go high-low with Powell and Bynum as much as they can. Spread the floor with Blake and Sessions, and hope that they're just knocking down threes, Barnes cutting. But you would have to go exclusively. I think Powell becomes your primary offensive option, and you just run it through the post the entire time.
Right, yeah, and that's something that you've talked about, is using Powell sort of the way that Memphis uses his brother, as a high post facilitator. Is that something? I mean, I guess explain that point more and what you think how the Lakers could optimize their offense.
It just seems like he is the best offensive option they have for the simple fact that everything can run through him. You can't run everything through Kobe and get a great look for it. And that's not a knock on Kobe. That's just how the NBA is. Like, I mean, you can run Powell in the low post, in the mid post, in the high post, and he's a threat to shoot, to use a post move to score, to pass to anybody, because you have to double team him more, and it's easier for him to pass out of the double team because he's 6 inches taller than Kobe. And so I just think that with his passing ability, with his shooting ability, and he has that drop step to the baseline for a left or a right-handed hook that nobody can stop. It's one of those shots in basketball that absolutely nobody can stop, and they don't go to it nearly enough. And if they did, I think you could use Kobe so much better. I think you could use Bynum so much better to where these guys don't just always have 2 or 3 guys swarming to stop them. You would get more one-on-one matchups. And no one's going to stop those guys one-on-one.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly right. Is that Ian Levy had this great post today on hardwood paroxysm, and Henry Abbott wrote a little bit about it on True Hoop. And what you see is that Kobe Bryant is a phenomenal player, especially when he can get catches in kind of on the move, coming off of screens and in space. And the more they can do that, the better their offense will be, because once Kobe gets past his man, he's a great finisher and a great passer. It's those moments when, and goes the exact same for Bynum and the same for Gasol, when they just throw it into him and stand around is when the Lakers have problems. When they get that motion around a guy like Gasol, who teams don't double team really because they don't want to leave Kobe or Bynum, and they get that motion around him, that's when Kobe and Bynum are even more effective. So I do see that. I also wonder, though, if you can get into the situations that Memphis has found themselves in with his brother, where Mark gets pushed out as the game goes on further and further from 16 feet, so now he's catching it 20 feet, and that 4 feet really kind of disrupted all of Memphis's offense last night.
Well, I think that could happen, but the difference between Mark and Powell is Powell has better range than Mark does. I mean, he's much more comfortable shooting from 20 than Mark is, and he's just a better player. People want to say that Powell is soft and Mark has surpassed him. It's just not true. Like, Powell is a better player. He's one of the best big men in the league, and not that Mark isn't, but Powell's just better. And I think that you give him that much more space to operate with even the passing game, it would open. That's 4 feet of space open between a help defender and Bynum right away. And the point you made about getting Kobe shots closer to the basket, I mean, Kobe used to be able to just blow by guys and get those shots on his own. Well, now because of help defense and because he's a step slower, he just can't get those shots, so he's taking more jumpers. If you have Powell orchestrating out of the post, it's a lot more room for Kobe to cut to the basket and get better shots. And when he gets those shots close to the basket, there's no way to stop him at all.
Yeah, and I also think Kobe has trouble one-on-one a bit with Aaron Aflalo. Has done a really, really good job on him. And Gallinari is not a bad second defender either. So the matchups aren't great for him one-on-one. I mean, obviously he's going to score one-on-one enough. He's going to get those up fakes in the post. And if he can get Aflalo close to the basket, he can really bury him. And that's why you want to see him moving off the block. When he comes from the wing, Aflalo is quick enough and strong enough and kind of really bears his teeth down there. So, yeah, I agree.